That's better because I got a very, very quiet voice. I tell you, I can't get over the amount of talent in this room. Last week I was amazed. I talked about it all week to everybody. And tonight is fantastic. So give yourselves a round of applause. And give everybody that does this every week a round of applause as well. It's amazing what they do, isn't it? That you've got this to come to. So I just wanted to give a little talk. I want to talk a little bit about myself, because one of the first things that people ask me now is, how is it that you've got a pair of wheels? Because I used to get about on my legs till quite recently. And I used to find it very easy when I was going shopping to reach the top aisle in the supermarket. And all of a sudden I couldn't reach it anymore. So there were big changes. And things that were easy for me weren't easy anymore. And sometimes we're asked to do things in life that look easy, but they aren't. We're asked to do things that look simple. You know, in the Bible, there's a story where Jesus tells his disciples, we are going to cross this lake to the other side. And it was an easy thing for them because they did it day in, day out. It was their job. They were fishermen. But things changed as soon as they got on the water. A storm rose up and the water started getting in the boat. Now, I don't know about you, but I know personally that when I found myself in the wheelchair, I started to find water getting into the boat. Do you know what I mean? Things weren't as easy as they used to be. I used to get up in the morning and I was afraid to go out in case I met somebody that knew me when I was walking around easily. And they'd ask what's happened. And I used to try and answer something funny like, well, do you remember that guy that went on holidays to Australia that got attacked by a shark? That was me. But it didn't work. And because I knew myself that I wanted to be like everybody else, and I wanted to go climbing mountains and going on holidays and picking these little flowers on top of Crete Mountains like I used to. And I couldn't do it anymore. And personally for me, the water was coming in the boat really quick. And never mind how much, like the disciples in the story, tried to bail the water out, there was just too much going in. And Jesus only asked them to do something simple. He said, all I want you to do is to go to the other side. The simplest thing ever. And sometimes we fail in the simple things. And that causes a lot of pain in our hearts and a lot of pain in our minds. And we start asking the question, why is it that I'm feeling so overwhelmed? Why is it with something so simple, I'm unable to do this? And I started asking that question because I was so frustrated with things that I found myself sitting in the car one evening. You know, it was around about this time of year when the sun, the day was like meeting the night, and you had that weird colour in the sky. I remember it profoundly, and I was sitting down, and do you know, I actually said to God, God, if it's possible, I don't really want to wake up tomorrow morning. And that's shocking. Because at my last job, I was a minister. But sometimes it takes us to come to rock bottom for God, for us to understand and realise that whilst we're going through these difficult times and these impossible times for us, that in the stern of the boat, there's Jesus. This is what it's all about. This is what this Christianity is all about. It's when the rubber hits the road, and for me, the rubber was hitting the road. I couldn't get any lower than I was. And I did one thing. I said, Jesus, you've got to come and do something for me. And all it takes is a little bit of faith. You know, Jesus says to the disciples when they say, Jesus, don't you care for us? And they got up, and he got up and he stilled the storm. He said, oh, you have little faith. All you need is a little faith, because that's all we have. And that's enough. If you say, Jesus, will you help me right now? He will still your storm. I don't know what your storm is. I don't know, maybe some of you might be dealing with debt. Some of you may be dealing with fear, maybe dealing with anxiety. Some of you, like me, may be dealing with, you feel you've come to rock bottom. Some of you, look, we've had a chat already, to one or two will say, I haven't got enough confidence. Do you know, when Jesus comes into your life, you get confidence. So, I just want you to think about that tonight. That whilst the storm is hitting your boat and you're trying to bail water out, and you're trying your best to get the water out as more is coming in, instead of doing your best and doing your hardest to try and bail the water out, stop for one moment to say, God, I want you to do your best for me. There's no shame in that. That's when your life changes. Trust me, I know that. That's something I've known over the last year since my life has changed this way. And if you want your life to change, it's simple. Just cry out, Jesus, will you help me? Now, there are people, you know the guys who lead this evening. There's more that you need to know about that if you want to start walking with Jesus. The best thing to do is talk to them. Because if I wanted to tell you more how to do that, then we'd be here all evening. And I want to leave that to these guys, because you've got a friendship and a relationship with them. I hope that as we come, we're going to get to know all you guys as well. So thank you for listening to this little talk. And I just want to give, is it okay if I give a little prayer? Is that all right, Chloe? So I'm just going to pray. And I just want you to still your heart. That means just be quiet inside. And I'm going to ask God to just touch those worries and fears that you have. Father, I just want to pray as we're in this room and we're all friends. And maybe we're just connecting with you for the first time. And maybe this is the first time quietly in our spirit and quietly in our heart saying, I recognize this. And I'm going to cry out, Jesus, will you help me in this storm? I just pray that this evening that whoever's crying that out would know that you are the God who stills the storm. You're the God that changes lives. And you're the God that loves us. Amen.